Diane Gayer, and Brian asked me to do this tea, but it was really, I think it started as a group effort of somebody said, well, why don't we talk about Masdar? And I think it was Bob who said that. And then I went to Korea, so I've included a little bit about Korea in here, and then I've been reading Sennett's book, and so what you'll get is a hybrid of what's happened over the last 3 months, but hopefully it's just, you know, it's a provocative kind of intro to a conversation. I have a sequence of slides as a way to start this. And I also, in terms of the details of some of these projects like Masdar, I just went ahead and took kind of the information that's on the web. So I thought I'd actually go through that to give us some of the specifics. I mean, this isn't a paper that I've been working on. It's not, you know, a lot of research that I've been working on for a long time. So I just thought the easy way to kind of introduce some of this, because we all have concepts, I think, of some of these places, but by way of explaining some of Masdar, I thought I would just read some of their little blurbs, if that's all right. But, oh yeah, these are still, can we try this light off? Yeah. Does that help?
That's good.
Yeah.
Much better.
Okay. I did go to Dubai several years ago on a flight to South Africa. I did a stopover for 2 days. And Dubai, as part of the Emirates, was part of a whole trade route across to the mainland, across to Iran. And so it has a whole huge tradition, not just in what we think of as oil and gas, but as a trade route coming out of the rivers and crossing the Gulf, the Arabian Gulf. And it has historical architecture that's really beautiful and really centered on dealing with, in this case, the wind. Those are all wind towers that bring the wind down into the buildings proper and naturally convect air, but cool the building spaces.
Totally passive?
Totally passive. Totally passive. And you know, UNESCO projects, I mean, they're saving this architecture, and it was all local materials as well, using the coral as a building material. And in some of the current architecture, they're reclaiming this tradition, but obviously not in all of it. But this is Sharjah. This is one of the Emirates next to Dubai. It kind of goes Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Sharjah, and a couple more, and then Oman. I don't know them all, but just as a clue around the Gulf. And those, to my knowledge, that's gas exploration in the port. It's not oil.
You mean the drilling right there?
Yeah. And co-located with this, you see pleasure boats, fishing boats, and what we all kind of know as these islands that they're building. That's all investment money. That's for all the Germans who come down and want beaches. It's a whole phenomenon, I think, around the world in terms of where there's sun and beach of investment. And so just to give you an idea, that's created coastline, but all the coastline is trying to look like that as well. And it's an easy flight from Germany, or from Central Europe. So that leads us to Masdar. And this is the coast of Abu Dhabi's up there, the airport's over there, so it's kind of centrally located between the coast and the airport. The new city's right where it shows on the Google map. It is supposed to be the new city center as well. There's an existing city center, but the new city center is supposed to move there. This kind of as the overview, I did paste this one up. So Masdar is supposed to be an emerging global clean technology cluster powered by renewable energy. And that zone right there is a whole, so those are all a sea of photovoltaics next to right here where the Masdar city's been started. It's supposed to be a special economic zone, and what I'm starting to see is that all these new cities are free enterprise zones, economic zones. Home to companies, researchers, academics from across the globe. international hub for companies focused on renewable energy and clean technologies, leading multinational companies in clean tech sector, GE Imagineering, or now, I don't know, they're calling it Eco-Imagination, yeah. Demonstration center, research and development labs and headquarter in the city, and then anchored by the Masdar Institute for Science and Technology, a collaborative with MIT. So, this is some of what the drawings look like. I'm not suggesting, I don't think this has all been built yet. So we've been evaluating the Masdar City initiative from the start. First question, the role of finite resources to play to finance it. We also revisited our skepticism. I wonder. What we can't question is that the world's first carbon neutral zero waste city is drawing from among the most developed renewable energy talent around the world, including U.S. Department of Energy and GE. 4,000 square meter of Eco-Imagination Center in Masdar is the first such corporate fixture. Will showcase many of GE's innovative technology, including wind, solar, and other renewable energy products that will power the next generation smart grid, along with water purification technology. So that's what they're saying their goals are. So the pilot residences will also have a computerized home management system. During the project, the network and appliances will receive signals from the electrical grid that will simulate power demand, and will respond by automatically adjusting how the appliances operate so that they save energy during peak demand periods. So basically creating and using as a demonstration site this whole new city for intelligent building spaces, office spaces, apartment spaces, stuff like that. There's also a project, a Louvre museum by Jean Nouvel, the architect Jean Nouvel, that has this kind of roof template as its shading device that's going in one of the Emirates, that when you look at the slides is very beautiful. But,
is that a fully enclosed air-conditioned space?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe it has to be, whether it is or not. Some of the earlier, like this, over here, the way I've been reading the drawings, that's open air. So that there's shading, and this also shows open air there. So that the filigree becomes about shading. But whether there's still air conditioning, I've seen it in Arizona, where you do air conditioning and it is open to outside. But sometimes it's only air conditioned in the building space, and then the larger mall, let's say, is open air and shaded. So jumping to Korea, not to take too long at the slides. But, so this is another enterprise zone. This one is called Saemangeum, Saemangeum. And if you see, sometimes it jumps and sometimes. This is a dike along, I think it's 13 kilometers. And there are 3 rivers that used to flow free into that sea that are now blocked by the new dike. And this is supposed to be 3 new cities. One's an enterprise zone for economic development, one's real estate development for people, places to live, and one's an amusement park. All done speculatively with investment monies from the rest of the world. So, just to show you the rivers again. All of this is new. This is new. The 3rd river is right there and blocked by this land mass. These are all infill. This is all infill. So all of these are estuaries that are being infilled with soil. it's called a land reclamation project, but there was no land there.
Yeah. So the rivers, they pump them outside the dike?
Yeah. Here's what they do.